All right, welcome back for week number 2. This week I want to start with a couple questions. Actually, it's 3 questions. Um, then kind of dive into the answers, or maybe the answers. First is, how are you actually dealing with spending all this quality time with your family? How's it treating you? How are you treating it? Second question, are you more annoyed by your family while you're stuck in the house with them? Find yourself fighting with them more, arguing more, avoiding them? Do they bother you? And the last question, the opposite. Do you find yourself growing closer to your family, where you want to be around them or you want to spend more time with them and you actually look forward to seeing them? And of course, there's the third option is nothing changing. So during the quarantine time, I've done a really bad job of actually like staying at home. Now, I'm not going out there coughing on people and like trying to spread germs, that kind of thing, but I have done some visiting to check in on some people and making sure that folks that I'm close to are, in a good place. And in doing that, I get to see how some of the families are interacting with each other and seeing how some of the home dynamics or home dramas are playing out. And I've seen some families where everything seems to be humming along smoothly, like there's nothing going on at all, like nothing bad at all's happened outside in the world. Like this is just a normal week. Then I've seen some families where, to quote a parent, if a child makes it to 12, it'll be a miracle. So it's one of those things. Like I see it going both ways, and it makes me think about what we could and what we should be doing, and how we can actually make the best of this situation, and how we can actually, kind of grow from it. What we can do, how we can make our worlds better. And I say our worlds, meaning our households. So that's a good idea to look into. So why? Why are some families getting closer, and why are other families becoming annoyed with each other? Now, there's always going to be tension among siblings. I don't know if any family that has more than one child that the siblings don't at least argue once in a while. And especially when it comes to parents, there will always be something that comes up. So I'm not talking about the regular stuff, go clean your room type fight. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the tension where if somebody walks in the room, you get up and leave. Or no niceties at all can get exchanged. It's like there's real tension. And whenever you're locked in a house like this with somebody and you can't do much of anything else, those feelings can grow pretty quick. And sometimes when those feelings get out, it's really hard to bring them back in. So why did they come out in the first place? Why aren't we just automatically growing closer to each other? And I think it comes down to trust and actually being open. Trusting your family that they actually do care about you and have your best interest in mind, which hopefully is easy. And the second part is actually being open to the idea that you might actually like them. I didn't say love, because hopefully you love your family automatically, but liking them. You actually want to be around them. So trusting them that they care about you, and being open to actually spending some time with them and getting to know them and getting closer. So, siblings. I know a lot of you as sibling groups, and some of you older, some of you younger, and I want to kind of talk about a few of the ones that I've seen. Now, some of them know I'm going to talk about them, other ones don't. If you don't, then you're not here to stop me, so some of the families that I've seen, sibling interaction. One of the ones that I've seen the most recently is my handy candy operator, camera operator. She's actually brings me candy too, so that's why I'm fat. But Sylvia, she has her older brother Renee, and they are extremely close. And I find it to be a beautiful thing. Like whenever he would walk into the room, she would actually light up like it's Christmas. It's just, it really kind of, it would touch me up in my feels. I'd like it. But then, whenever he's at school, he goes to UNC Pembroke. She's here at Fayetteville Tech, so they wouldn't get to see each other every day. I would say, Sylvia, how's Renee? Who? Kind of was out of sight, out of mind things. Now I know, read between the lines, she absolutely loves him completely. But he would get wrapped up in school, and they wouldn't talk every day, and she'd miss him. But I could still feel there was a very healthy relationship. Now, I'm not saying they don't fight. I'm sure they do. But it looked pretty good to me. Then another one that's kind of funny that I laugh at the most. Another set of older kids, Jerry and Yadira. They're funny too. They don't call each other by their names. Jerry exclusively calls her Dummy. And Yadira almost exclusively calls him Doofus or Ugly. But that is code for I love you. And it is the funniest thing to see them interact with each other. Like, again, when one sees the other, their whole demeanor changes. They light up. It's like a part of them is brought back to them. And I'm not going to embarrass them with the story, but it wasn't always that way. But they got a wake-up call from their parents when they were younger that really kind of helped them set the stage for how close they became. And then some folks that that are in the group right now, I won't embarrass them with how, but seeing how close Haley and Mackenzie are getting, I think that's a beautiful thing. Because I can tell you firsthand, 18 months ago, so not in that long, the closeness that I'm seeing between those two now, no way. But they're getting there. Then, of course, another one, Gabby and Marcus. I see the way they work. Beautiful. Love seeing it. Some other ones you guys see, James and Jonah. Not separated by a whole lot age-wise, but separated by schools. They continue to try to find stuff to do together. And I think it's a cool thing. Now, what about parents, though? How about folks that interact in a good, solid way with parents? And again, when it comes to parents and kids, it's tough, okay? Because one of the things that I was told really early in my training to become a youth minister is that you have to be very careful that you keep the line between being a guide, a leader, and a friend. They are not the same thing. Well, with parents, it's something similar. Parents are not kids' friends. They're protectors, they're providers, they're guides. And if they get along, that's perfect, but they're not there to be friends. So how do I get parents that and kids to actually get along and agree and be able to grow? Well, I've seen it work. The twins, Dominic and Dylan, with Steve. Now, I know a lot of you guys know, you think Steve was probably one of the greatest guys on the planet, but he is a parent, so I can guarantee you that Dominic and Dylan have been on the receiving end of some parental things that they probably didn't enjoy at the time. But I also, when I see them all together, those boys admire their dad. I think that's kind of cool. Then I see the way Catherine, when Catherine is around Brady, her dad, I see more positivity. I like it. It's beautiful. It's really kind of cool. Then Jacob and Zach, the Fix. Their dad, Jason, was, he was not really necessarily deployed, but he was stationed at a base that wasn't anywhere near here, so they didn't get to see him very often. But we did a service project together as their family plus me on campus at Methodist, and I got to see them interact, and I could tell that was a family unit that liked being together. I'm sure they had their things they'd rather been doing than pulling up shrubbery at Methodist University, but I could tell they liked spending time. Well, what is it about these families that is so different? And I actually don't think it is anything different. I don't think they're any different than any of our other families. I don't think they have any special potion, or they don't have any special gifts that are different. I think it's just they are willing and open to the idea that they might actually enjoy each other's company. There might be some kind of a positive to spending time with their families. Just an idea. So, in continuing with the ongoing theme that I seem to have accidentally developed of using this quarantine time as an opportunity, maybe using this time now with your family as an opportunity is also something to look at. You know, if you have a sibling that you find yourself arguing with or fighting with, maybe just sit down with them and spend some quality time where you aggressively try not to fight with them. Find some common ground. Find something that you're both interested in. Find something that you can do together. And if you got a parent that you just don't feel all that close to for whatever reason, like you maybe have some trust things you got to work out, or being able to communicate, now's a really good time for that. So a lot of the distractions won't be there, so you can take time and maybe work on that relationship. And then of course, I would be remiss, there is that other parent that we have, that spiritual one that kind of brings us all together in the first place. If that relationship isn't where it needs to be either, then maybe we could spend some time working on that one. Say a prayer here and there, talk. Just give it some energy too. But yeah, just take this time, figure out what we can do. Because the way we treat our families now will set the stage for how our families are later in life. Won't give you a long story, but I will tell you that I have two sisters, Melissa and Miranda. They are twins. They just turned 40 about a month ago, which I find hilarious, as bad as they picked on me when I turned 40. When we were younger, we didn't fight a lot, but it was often. And it was always 2-on-1. Like I've told the joke probably a dozen times that my sister Melissa, she could walk out of her room covered from head to toe in blood, with a bloody knife in her hand. And she could even be saying, "Damn, that was fun." When my mom would ask what happened, my other sister Miranda would say, "Michael did it." It was always 2-on-1. But now that they're adults, they're almost inseparable. They speak and see each other several times a week, talk daily. Well, whenever I was younger, I thought to myself, when I get out of high school and I get out of college, I cannot wait to be away from those two. And then their graduation day happened when they graduated from East Carolina. And I'm sitting there in the stands watching them both get their diplomas, and I'm sobbing like a baby. Pride. And then about 9 years ago, I had one of the most profound, beautiful moments of my entire life that I look on with such joy. I got to walk my sister Miranda down the aisle as she got married. And that got me. But again, whenever I was a kid, I never would have imagined that I would have had that kind of relationship with my siblings. So what I would encourage you guys to do is use this time to kind of lay the groundwork for how you want your relationship to be in the future. Do you want to have people that you can really trust to have your back? Do you want to have people that you can count on? Do you want to have people that always for sure have your best interests in mind? And if you do, then start working on that. And that goes for the people here, and that goes for the big person that we often neglect. So if you want the relationship, you want it healthy, you want it strong, use this time to put in the work. Thanks.